Hey everybody, Christopher Small here from CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, that's it. And today I wanted to come on here and talk to you about some other fun things that living trusts can do. Now, you probably are thinking to yourself, I don't think there are any fun things that living trusts can do, but you would be wrong. Because there are some fun things that living trusts can do. Yesterday I talked a little bit about the biggest thing, or the main thing, particularly if you have kids, and that is trusts have the ability to sort of manage and oversee and sort of help shape the way that money is distributed for your beneficiaries over a long period of time. If you just have a will, you are going to be stuck just giving the money out to your people without any oversight, without anything. So if you have any assets at all, they're going to get a check, and let's be honest, they're probably going to burn it. Okay, so that's that. But today, I want to talk to you about some other fun, interesting things that trusts can do, because, in fact, they can do some fun things. So let's just dive right in. The other biggest benefit of living trusts, revocable living trusts, what we're talking about here today, and if you are living in California, or if you live in any place that has sort of archaic, expensive, crazy probate laws, is with a revocable living trust, you have the ability to avoid probate completely. All right, 100%, no probate needed. You can just sort of die and go along and know you're happy that your people can just use your stuff and just go. Okay. The reason for this is that when you create a trust, the trust sort of becomes its own entity, its own thing. And what you do is you put stuff in the trust while you're alive. You also direct things to go into the trust when you die. And because of that, the things that are in the trust, whether you are alive or dead, are deemed to be held by the trust. Okay? This is important for probate, because probate is essentially the transference of property from one person to another. You open a probate when you need to transfer real estate from one person to another. You open a probate when you need to transfer funds in a bank account from one person to another. With probate, you don't have that need, because the trust technically holds the property the whole time. So all that changes is when you die, a new trustee steps in and then administers the trust according to your rules. So often people will set up trusts even though they don't want to have any long-term oversight or management over trust assets. So for example, somebody will put a house in a trust, okay, and they die, and the next trustee steps up and is directed to sell the house and distribute the profits, okay, or the proceeds. They do that only because they want to avoid this archaic process of probate, which can be super expensive, super time consuming, super hard on the personal representative. You can avoid all of that with a simple trust, okay? That's number one, avoiding probate. A second cool thing that you can do with a revocable trust is asset protection. Now, before we get into asset protection, this is like the $1 million question. This is what everybody wants to know. When you are alive, if you are the creator of a revocable trust, you get zero asset protection. None. Okay? Now, there's a reason for this. You get zero asset protection because you have maximum flexibility. You can change the trust, you can kill the trust, you can update the trust, you can take stuff in, put stuff in the trust, you can take it out, you can do whatever you want. Because you have that maximum flexibility, you don't get any asset protection. Okay? Asset protection is only for those assets that you give up control over. All right? However, when you die and your beneficiaries step into the role of being the primary beneficiaries and a new trustee steps up, guess what happens to this revocable living trust? It becomes irrevocable. That means you have maximum asset protection. So as long as you don't direct that the trustee specifically distribute assets out of the trust to people, everything that's in that trust remains pretty much locked away from divorce, from creditors, from bankruptcy, from people with bad habits like drugs, gambling, drinking, just frivolous spending, partying, spring break, right? A car, thing. It's saved from all those things. Okay, so you have you have a lot of asset protection once you're dead and the new beneficiaries step into their role as the primary beneficiaries, which is great, okay? They say, by the way, I don't know if you've heard this or not, because you probably haven't because you're not in the estate planning game, but can you guess what the number one creditor is for people in their lifetimes? Take a guess. If you're watching, take a guess. If you're not watching, put something in, okay? Divorce. Because what happens is somebody gets an inheritance, they stick it together with all their other funds, then they get divorced by their spouse, and that gets chopped up, okay? With a trust, you can avoid all of that, okay? The other thing that you can have, by the way, with the trust, this is probably the last one for today, is you have the opportunity to create long-term sort of legacy planning for multiple generations. It doesn't take very much money if you set your trust up correctly to provide a tremendous amount of opportunity for your kids, and then also provide a tremendous amount of opportunity for your grandkids and your great-grandkids if you want to do that. So most people are interested in helping out their kids. You know, it'd be awesome if I could know, for example, that I was going to fund the education of 3 or 4 generations with what I'm doing right now. It'd be awesome. To know that I'm going to give them an opportunity to pursue their dreams if they want. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? That's why I got into estate planning, because I have kids. So anyway, revocable living trust can do a lot of fun stuff in addition to just providing that oversight and guidance for the kids so they don't burn through all the money. Okay, that is it. If you have any questions, ask them below. If you liked this, please hit the like button. If you know someone that might be interested in hearing this, please share it with them. You can share it straight to your page. You can tag somebody like in the comments, whatever you want to do, it's fine with me. All right, so sort of sign off. Once again, I am Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, and we do it really, really good. All right, that is it. Have a great night. See ya.